Today we're going to be doing a little bit of lettering. I already have the everything kind of opened up. I'll show you a couple things before we get started. This is my template. um, I'll back out just a little bit just to give you an idea of what I got. I got a whole bunch of pre-made sound effects, the vast majority of which I actually made starting from about here on down. The original, the ones up top here, were given away in a template years and years and years ago. I don't remember. The vast majority of this stuff is logos that I've made over the course of several years, and I just keep them in the template in the event that I need them. This is my sizer. So this gives you your various. Let me pull up on that right quick. You got your live area. You can see that right there. You got trim online, and you got bleed. If you don't understand what those are, we'll go over that in another video. First of all, let's get our page. We're going to take it, and this is just basically lettering 101. I've got some balloons in here. Should have some caption boxes in here, so this should be a pretty good page. All right, so let's see. I've got my art layer right here. I'm going to paste over that, and then we're going to size it to the template. Now, you have to know, are you doing full bleeds? Are you doing panel board? You know, are you doing gutters? What are you doing? In this instance, I'm going to size it to the trim on line. No, I'm not. I'm going to do that right there. Now then. All right, and then I'm going to come up just a little bit, re-expand that so that I can. All right, and sometimes you got to kind of split the difference between because you got odd size panels, odd size borders, and that sort of thing. So you just gotta kind of play it by ear. I'm gonna go ahead and size that out like that, and that gives me a good coverage of the panels. It looks like it makes sense, like it was intended to do that. Okay, so you have your page. So lock your artwork at this point. If you don't do that, you're gonna have fun with that. Okay, so let's see. Let's go back in here because I have some of these pages already done. I'm not sure if I have the dialogue or the. Let's see. Let's get that one. All right. And what I'm doing here is making sure that my text is all the same. Copy that in there. That's going to be for caption boxes. I'm pretty sure that I use the same stuff as I do in the regular Dynagirl comic, but I want to make sure. And the easiest way to do that is to just go get a piece of the text that you've already used. Size-wise is the same. Everything else is the same. Now you'll notice right here, I've got examples for the different books that I've done already set up. In this particular case, like I said, I wasn't sure. Let me check it right quick. Keyword 8 point. Yep, I use the exact same stuff as I did in the regular. Mild-mannered is here. See, the caption boxes are different. So that's good. So I used Adam Kubert all the way across on that. So that's one less thing. Go to my script. Actually, no, I won't. I'll go here. This is just one way to do it. This is the way I do it. You can choose to do whatever you want to. My workflow works for me, and so that's why I do it this way. So I take out some. I just make some copies right there. Copy the same text, and then. All right, so that's going to be her speaking right there. And I tend to do all of the dialogue. I just get all the dialogue copied over. Put it in there. And it sure makes it easy when a script is properly formatted because, who's talking, where your your next dialogue is going to come from, and it makes your job as a letterer a lot faster. If you've ever dealt with a script that's not been well formatted, it can be an absolute nightmare. Okay, so that's the end of that page for that. Now I also have some caption boxes, so what I'm going to do is come up here. The only difference being is that I've got the alignment set up, and so it makes it just a little bit easier to. I don't have to go in and change stuff later, and that's really one of the key things is that you you set it up as quick as possible, because especially if you're lettering for money, the number of pages you can do in a given day is all about the cash. So if you can do 10 pages a day, if you can do 12 pages a day, you do 15 pages a day, that's you're getting paid. So there you go. I'm going to have a sound effect on this page, which that'll be fun. All right, so the only thing left that I haven't copied over is sound effects, and I'll do that last. All right, so back to our preparing page. Now you'll notice too that I've put the pencils, I've put the pencils and inks in here, the inks. I prefer to work over inks because it's faster. It's faster production wise. I can while the colorist is working, I can be doing my thing. And I mean, I've even done over pencils, so I don't have a big gripe with that. Some letterers want, I want the final page. I think that's kind of crazy. The only problem is you've got to go back and just do the finals. And I mean, to me, it's fast. Okay. So what you're looking for now is a general diamond shape of your words. You don't have to have it perfect. You don't have to have it perfect because you can change all this later. But I kind of want to get an idea of what I'm coming in, and it may come down to the fact that I'm see, like this one right here. I don't necessarily like the shape of that all that well, so I'm gonna see if I can't kind of like mess around with the way no, that's definitely not good. Okay. See, that's kind of a square box. I really don't like that. So we're gonna go back to, and then we're gonna do this. Watch. Let's go this. Now see, that's better. I like that. Maybe that was how I had it before. But anyway, that's you just play with it and see. You want that general diamond, that diamond shape. Starting here, coming down, and then coming back. And you'll see how that works out in a minute. So right now, let's see. Let's go over and get the captions all taken care of right quick. All right, and on the captions, what you want to do is make sure that they're uniform, and you want to make sure that they look like you intended them to look. Generally speaking, you don't want the top. See right here, the top is shorter than the bottom. That's not good. We want it to go like that. We'll go like this. And then, okay, let's see. So let's go right here. And right here. It looks pretty good. Okay. I know that I have captions on page 1. And all that message is just to tell me that at some point after the creation of this particular file, I have changed my font libraries, which I have done that about 50 times. So that's the only problem there. And I'm using Illustrator CS3, by the way. just in case you, I don't want that anymore. Okay. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Okay, dude. Jesus. All right, sorry about that. All right, so we're gonna go in here, and let's see. Let's look back at our script. Ooh. Okay, so we've got a regular caption, and then we've got a character caption. Now let's make sure that those are the same, because generally they are not the same. You find, oh god, I'm disorganized today. Sorry. Yeah. That's not it. See, I've got a bunch of these pages already lettered. Ouch. Kind of just hitting and missing, trying to see if I've got any captions. Let's see. As soon as I shift scenes, it'll, yeah, I should have a caption box. Boom. There we go right there. That's what I'm talking about. So that's the difference in the caption box. It's a blue one instead of the regular, and that's just to set them apart, you know, with the character. So in page 1, I've got Later at the London Arms, and then I've got Honestly Don't Remember. So here we go. Let's see. I don't even think I copied London Arms, did I? Well, we can fix that. Let's make sure again that we have the proper. Yep, you see that's different. So that's what's going on. That's why. Okay, now I'm starting to get squared away. Been a while since I've lettered this particular comic book, so bear with me here. All right, and some of this stuff I can do in small, so apologies there. But I'll zoom in so I can see. Okay. So that's, I've set them up. I've kind of left them top to bottom. Makes it easier, makes it faster. I'm gonna move it down. And this is all PG-13 now, by the way. I want everybody to notice there's soap bubbles and everything else. So yeah, I don't want to hear it. Dynagirl's a family book. Okay, now see that? Whoa, what happened to my text? Well, that's because the bubble is on top. So come up here and send that thing to back. And if you're layering correctly, all you're messing with is the letter layer. You're not messing with the art layer. Remember, it's locked. Okay, so I'm gonna size this box just to, and you wanna, I mean, just make it uniform. You want a little space around there, and then you want to put it up in the upper right. Now consider that your dotted lines, you want to try to stay in that dotted line box, because that is what's called live area. That's where you want all your text. That's where you want all your bubbles and everything else. Balloons. I'm sorry. You can put it outside of there, because the trim on line is the red. So I mean that's as deep as it's going to go, generally speaking. But if it's outside the live area, you risk losing it. Okay. So I'm going to shape this. I'm going to give this just a little bit more. There we go. And I'm going to put it just right up in that live area. All right. And then now, why did I do that? I did that because I don't want to obscure any more art than absolutely necessary. It's just not necessary to cover anything. I mean, I could come down here and cover her knees, but why do that? Especially if the placement, we read books right to left, or top to bottom, left to right. So that's a consideration. And that way, you see your caption at the top, you see it right here, and then you come down and this is what she's saying. All right. So let's go to panel 2. She's kind of embarrassed, so we'll go over here. Oh, we don't need that. Now then, this is a lot of text, and I have got a small bubble, or a small panel. So in this particular instance, let's look at page 1, or panel 1, panel 2. Panel 3. Panel 3's got some text. Okay, so really got to get this text into, and there's another one. really got to get all this text into these two pages, or these two panels. So now we get creative. Okay, so let's go up here and get our, and then we can get 2 because we need to, right? All right, so really the only thing I'm going to be able to do is bring them down here to the bottom. You know, because if you have to obscure art, you want to obscure as little art as you possibly can, and you don't ever want to obscure important art. Now, I'm not going to tell you that not all art is important. I'm just going to say that some art has more importance than others. All right. Okay. Now then, again with the thing, right? So send it back to the back. All right. Now then, I've got to reshape again because my I have space constraints, and so now I've got to work within what I've given. So, you know, it sometimes it throws you a little curveball, and that's going to work perfect. All right, move it up just a little bit. All right, so now get it uniform on both sides, top to bottom, pretty uniform. Now split the difference in the panel. Man, that looks good. Okay, so there we go. And then let's see, is that going to shape good? That's going to shape good right there. Put it in the back just like we did before. All right, now resize that caption box. All right, now in this case, it's not called for in the script, but since I wrote the script, I get Final Cut. So I'm going to bold this right here. And that's one of the things that makes it really nice when you're the letterer of your own book, because that way you can, if you do see changes need to be made, you can make those yourself on the fly. You don't have to ask anybody. All right, and you know what? I am gonna completely delete that because it's not necessary. It's extraneous text. And that's going to allow me to do a couple of things. It's going to allow me to make it smaller, which is always good. What you want to do as a letterer is don't become part of the problem. What you want, if you get noticed for lettering, it better be in a good way. You don't want to get noticed for, oh, you let that spelling error get in there, or you let, and I mean, I know a lot of letterers that are straight up copy paste guys. They don't make any changes. They don't ask any questions. They just copy paste. And to me, I mean, I can see both sides. Now, what I'm doing here is going. I'm trying to get uniform. Okay. And then, all right. So those two panels are done. Now then, panel 3 is going to be a word balloon, and it's going to be a sound effect. All right. So let's string it back up. Let's go get our dialogue. We got that. Let's catch a balloon. All I'm doing right now is copying and pasting. I want a tail. Now, some people prefer to make their tails, on the fly. I mean, which you can do. It's fine. I've got a bunch of pre-made tails that I've taken the time to draw out, just because it saves me time doing that. So it's up to you. Do what makes you feel happy. That's the beauty of this particular discipline is you get to play. You get to set it up. So okay, now then. Balloons float, so I want it above her if at all possible. Okay? And I want to take that tail and basically draw an imaginary line right to the center of her mouth. If that works for you, that's good. I got the text. I want to center that text. I want to give it a little bit room to breathe, but not too much. I don't want too much white space. Okay. And then there we go. So I select the tail and the balloon. I come up here to Pathfinder. I find merge and hit merge. Oh my God, where did my balloon go? It's there. It's just not outlined. Hit stroke of a 1 point. Your balloon is a 1 point stroke. And then send it to back. There you go. Now you have a comic book balloon. She's talking in the panel. All right, now then I need a barang. Do I have a barang or am I going to have to make a barang? Let's go over here and look. Oh, I've got a ring. Look at here. Now I'll show you in a subsequent video how to actually make sound effects. It's kind of an involved process. Boom. There you go. Now, do we like that? I mean, let's see. Let's do 2. All right, now you can see where I screwed up right there. Well, you might be able to. See, that's pink. I put it on the objects layer so that when we black the objects layer out, my sound effects go away. We don't want that. So let's drop that back to the layer, or to the letters, and it's real easy to switch that stuff over if you screw up. What you want to do is just be real careful and pay attention to what you got going on. And life is good. Okay. So right now, my sound effect, not happening. It's covering way too much art, and it's trying to cover the main character, and we're not feeling that either. So what I want to do is bring it down and kind of stagger it a little bit. Now then, you can tell that's a phone in the background. You can tell she's in the background, and then boom. Okay. So that's gonna be. I'm gonna use that for my temporary placing. I may change that. Right now it's black. I can change those colors no problem, and I may do that just because the colors may come in and I'm not feeling that particular color. But right now there's no reason. Right now I'm looking for placement. There's no reason to mess with it. Okay. All right. So we've got 2 more sound effects in the next panel, and we have got a off-panel text. I love off-panel text. They're some of my favorites. Okay, so let's see. There's no reason to do anything different than that right there. Okay. Okay, so she's saying keep your shirt on, keep your shirt on. Now, do we want to obscure the legs? I don't know. Not really. So let's put it over here. Let's put it over here. There we go. And we're actually coming out of panel right now, but I mean I've got the white space right there, and it's not a big deal, and I think it's kind of cool looking. So this is all about your creativity within what you're doing, and you got rules to follow. Don't get me wrong, but you've also got some playing around that you can do. So that makes it fun for us. Some editors are different than others. Okay, so we're going to select a balloon. I'm just going to take that one right there. It's not. This is probably the ugliest piece of text on the whole board. All right, send it back. Let's see what we've got inside the balloon. Now then, the one thing that I don't ever do is my off-panel stuff in advance. I always. Okay. Okay, we can bold that and give us some. All right. That is about, sometimes, the text is just uncomfortable. Nothing you do is really gonna make you overly happy. Okay, so now that's about as best as I'm gonna get it. Okay. So I'm gonna put it kind of right here. And that obscures about as little artwork as I possibly can. All right, select the balloon. This is how I do them. Like I said, everybody does them different. Some people just put a really long tail going to the edge of the border. I kind of like to get a little creative. So anyway, I select the balloon. I come up here to my pen tool. 1 point inside the balloon. Come out here and drag it. All right, then and then let it go. And I can reshape all this in a minute. All right, so then go there. Come up here. And I started doing this years and years ago. When I first started lettering, I kind of liked what Robert Kirkman was doing on Invincible. And so very early on in my lettering, I had my lettering looked a lot like Invincible. You can notice over my sound effects, I've got a couple of very Invincible looking sound effects. Since then, I've kind of changed that, but I've always loved those off-panel tails, and so I use those. And trust me when I tell you, it was some trial and error to figure that out. All right, so now then, what you want to do is you want to when you're off panel, you don't want a point so much as you want a tail leading off panel. All right, so see now then, I'm gonna get it right up to the panel border. There we go. Now it looks like it disappears off panel, right? Stays out of the. Notice you'll see that I'm out of the border. Or stupid gutter. Thank you. All right. So now I like the shape of that. I like the way that looks. Now, if I wanted to mess around with the shapes, just go your white arrow, and then kind of mess with it a little bit. You know. You can play with the tails, reshape, do whatever you got to do. Just make sure that you're happy here. You're happy here. Select, shift select, Pathfinder, same as you do a regular balloon. There's no difference. And then send it back. All right. Yeah. Keep your shirt on. All right. So that's cool. So now let's go back up here. We're going to get we might as well drop our text. She's pissed here, and then suddenly she knows who's on the phone here. And yeah, now she feels good about herself here. All right, so let's go. We're gonna do that balloon, and you can pick your balloons based on what your text looks like. Sometimes anyway. And let's see, we're gonna do that, and then I'll just use the same one. Okay. So I tend to want to pick my balloons first, get them shaped. Let's see, I've got 3 balloons right now. Send them all to back so that they're okay. So now shape it. A lot of this is repetitive, but it's good. I stopped the lettering at least 4 times. Like quit. Like I'm done. Never going to do it again. Hell no. Until finally, basically it became a purely economic decision. I had to letter or I wasn't going to be able to afford to make comics. And so pardon my cold. I have a slight cold. My children started school this week and they are outbreak monkeys. So that was a purely economic decision on my part. I had to cut costs somehow, and lettering, if I could pencil, I would have penciled, but I don't pencil. So lettering was a very quick way to get some money off of the balance sheet, and then when I got good enough, it was a neat way for me to actually make some extra money. Okay, so now in another video, I'll show you how to do butt up to panel edges. Right now, I've got visible space between there and that character, and I'm leaving it. That's good. That's a good balloon. There's all sorts of ways to do this. I'm simply showing you one way. Okay. I'm going to cover just a little bit of hair here, but again, not critical artwork, not covering the face, not covering anything that's really going to bother the reader as far as like, oh my gosh, what did that letter cover up? Let's see. And then we're going to go up here. And again, we're just not we're not covering anything that makes it look horrible. We're gonna bold that because she's a Southern girl. Sure. And then see, the more I see that, the more I hate it. I'm gonna do this instead. And that's one of those things as you get used to doing this, you'll start to see these balloons kind of in your sleep. Even you'll be see that's better. It doesn't have that conical shape, and I really don't like that conical shape. Okay, pull back out. Let's go get some tails. Let's see. We need a left facing here. Let's get that one. Boom. Drag it down in there. Let's get another one. Same deal. And then let's go. There we go. That one. All right. And then we're going to just basically rinse and repeat, baby. You know, we're going to come around in here. Point that to the mouth. And then we're not doing any. I'll show you in subsequent videos. Like I said, I mean we've got a whole bunch of videos to do. In subsequent videos, I will show you how to do exclamations, all sorts of fun stuff. But not today. All right, I'm gonna shrink this one just a little bit. There we go. Turn it just a tad. Okay. And by the way, I do talk to myself while I'm doing my lettering, even if I'm not recording a video. So there you go. And then she's super happy that she's getting a date because she hasn't had a date in a long time. All right, I'm gonna pull that back off just a little bit. Boom, there. Send it back. All right, so now pull back out. Check your page. You've got all the tails made. You've got the captions in the right places. You've got the sound effects in the right places. And life is good. Save that page. I got a pretty stable build of CS3 right now. So I don't go fascist as far as Dynagirl, ACL, page, I don't know, 25. And then AI, right? All right. And then let's just put it on the desktop. It's going to ask me, do I want to use my basic settings? I say yes. Okay, now that's a save to hold you right there where you are. Now, is this my final export page? No. Let me show you that right quick because that is going to be kind of cool. And I've got some time on the video, so why not? I'm going to come out here. Oh my gosh, I've got a colored page. What shall I do? Let's get that colored page. All right, so now your artwork layer is done. I can delete the pencils and I can paste in the colors. All right, so before I did a bunch of reshaping and that was all good. So we're going to continue. We're going to reshape. We're going to shape right back to where we were. You can do that with the pencils in mind. You just shape right back over it if you wanted to, but I just do it this way. It's easier. As long as I remember where my panels were, what references I used when I did that, we're going to come out perfect, which we almost did, I think. Let's see. Yeah, you know what? It's perfect. It's good. So what we're going to do now is just kind of, that panel's good. This is a little bit off here, so we're going to fix that. And we're going to take these and drop them back down a little bit. And see, you can tell that the page is just a little off from where I had the pencils. It's really not workflow wise. It's just a matter of you're not having to go back and change anything. You just okay. And then oh my gosh, look at that beautiful gutter right there. I'm going to zoom in. Make sure. No, now you see it looks like it just disappears, right? Get the text right because I changed it just a tad. Okay, scoot back out. That's good. That's good. That's good, and that is completed page. So, are you ready to export your page? Yeah, technically for this video we are. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to shut off the guides. See, right? I did right there. Shut the guides off. I'm going to shut off the objects. Did I lose anything? Make sure that you don't lose anything. Okay, now then, when I shut off the guides, this looks a little bit goofy. So I'm going to do it like that. Okay. Now that page is done. Save that page just like that with the guides off because that way you don't ever have to come back to it. The guides will print is what I'm trying to tell you. All right, so that's the save is done. I'm going to go ahead and export this page. All right, it's going to export to whatever file your master is. Now it wants to default to bitmap. I'm going to go down here and get my TIFF file because what do? We print from TIFFs. I want it CMYK. Your options are grayscale or RGB. For the web, you want RGB. CMYK is print. Grayscale is also print. You want it 300 DPI. That's minimum print, anti-alias, compression, IBM PC, all that crap. And then you just tell it to go. And then it says, thank you. And then you can shut that page down because you, my friends, are done with your lettering of this page. So let's go look at the export. No. There we go, right there. Boom. There's your final page. Now you see where you got where your lines came. We've got beautiful, beautiful gutters. We've got everything just the way we wanted it. I would go back and change that sound effect, and I will before the final page. But that's what you got, folks. That's the fun.